The future is bright, if a little apocalyptic. Hey guys, I'm Rebecca and welcome to Watch Mojo. Today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 craziest things that will happen before 2050. That means we're looking at the most mind-blowing events predicted to transpire over the next few decades, provided we don't destroy ourselves first. Woo! Alright, let's get to the list. Number 10. New countries may emerge. No, a supervillain isn't planning to start up their own breakaway civilization free of man's pesky laws, as far as we know at least. However, a referendum result could make Papua New Guinea's Bougainville Island in the Pacific Ocean into a separate country. And as Britain knows, referendums are always smooth-sailing, speedy processes. France is also at risk of losing a territory, as New Caledonia could also become its own entity. So much for a one-world government. There could be more nations than ever. The Illuminati loses this round. Number 9. Superbugs could become more super. Well, here's a cheery forecast to ruminate over. 700,000 people a year currently die due to infections that are no longer responsive to the drugs that are used to fight them. That number is expected to skyrocket to a terrifying 10 million by the time 2050 rolls around. This bio-nightmare is being augmented by doctors who prescribe antibiotics freely. That might be good for the bottom lines of pharmaceutical companies, but not so good for everyone else, as the bugs grow tolerance to the medication due to their abundant use. If their usage isn't dropped, bodies will be. Number 8. We'll be on thin ice. If that previous entry wasn't morbid enough for you, then this one should be. The area of the Arctic ice sheet has already dramatically decreased since the turn of the millennium. It's expected to lose another substantial amount of its mass by the year 2030, as the effects of climate change take their toll. Some cynical estimates even predict it'll be melted entirely before the end of the 21st century. Renewable energy may not be as profitable as fossil fuels, but no one besides Aquaman will be able to enjoy the spoils when we're all several feet below sea level. Number 7. Life will be more like Star Trek. A less depressing entry now, as devices similar to the Universal Translator seen in Star Trek are likely to be ever present in 2050, with inventor William Powell already at work on them. Via either a phone app or high-tech goggles, we'll be able to fluently engage in conversation with a speaker of a foreign language, as the handy bit of kit translates each word for us.
Book me, exist.
Oh, I see.
That's right, no more struggling to order a Big Mac abroad. Not so good for mail-order brides, however, who will now actually have to listen to what their husbands have to say.
Whatever you did, they're extremely precise. Though, when I'm listening to the Telluride ambassador, I wish they were just a little less precise.
Number 6. The Y2K problem will return. For those young enough to remember 1999, the phrase Y2K problem will remind you of fears that the new millennium would signify mass computer shutdowns, global blackouts, and cats marrying dogs or something. That obviously didn't happen, but that hasn't stopped fresh fearmongers anticipating the same thing for 2038, as there's an overflow of the common computing representation of date and time or something.
Tell me this is one of your simulations, Mr. Gifford.
Worst of all, this time around you can't justify giving it a cool-sounding name like the Y2K problem or the Millennium Bug or 2000 and none. A ground-based odyssey or something. Number 5. Earth will have a close call with an asteroid. In 2029, the Apophis asteroid will pass Earth with only 23,860 miles between us and annihilation. Fortunately, however, an earlier estimate that suggested that there was a risk of impact has since been ruled out, so no need to send up Bruce Willis and Ben Affleck to save the world just yet. Only once every 80,000 years is an asteroid equal in size to Apophis, being over 1,200 feet or 370 meters, expected to collide with the Earth. So when robots take over one day and dominate the planet, the joke will be on them. Skynet loses this round. Number 4. There will be a lot more people. The global population will be at a staggering 9.6 billion by 2050, according to a UN report. That's nearly 2 billion more than the world population as of 2019. The estimate of 10 million people dying a year of superbugs suddenly doesn't seem so large. Anyone who's ever been on a train during rush hour or caught in a traffic jam in LA, London, Beijing, or any other major city will know we're becoming a little congested as it pertains to humans. Not ideal in a world reliant on finite resources. But again, that's where renewable energy comes into play. Or Thanos. Number 3. The mystery of John F. Kennedy's assassination will be declassified. The official narrative regarding the JFK assassination is that lone gunman Lee Harvey Oswald was the single culprit behind it. Physics tells us otherwise, however, as bullets entered the former president from 2 directions. And chances are, Oswald couldn't curl bullets.
You know, something's always bothered me about that from day one, too.
His alleged ties to the CIA are also suspect. Was he just a patsy? Was there another shooter on the grassy knoll? JFK had no shortage of enemies at the time, including the Mafia, the Soviets, and his nation's own intelligence agencies. Information will be declassified in 2038, by which time anyone else involved will be long dead. Number 2. Robots. Ian Yeoman and Michelle Mars of a university in New Zealand produced the paper Robots, Men, and Sex Tourism, which claims that full-service robots will be commonplace in 2050. Well, there are less amusing things you could study. The robots aren't imagined to come cheap, but will be available in a range of ethnicities, ages, and body shapes. Kind of like their real-life counterparts, but probably less robotic than those.
Hello, Smithers. You're quite good at turning me on.
The good thing is, no one will ever have to be alone. The bad thing is, men may never leave their homes again.
Why was I programmed to feel pain?
Hey, you gotta admit, it's not all bad news. When I saw the name of the list, I thought it was gonna be like, oh, we've run out of chocolate and bananas and the machines will come alive and kill us all. But like, sex robots and solved mysteries are pretty cool. So if you wanna see what the craziest thing that'll happen before 2050 is, wait until after these honorable mentions to find out.
But I predict that within 100 years, computers will be twice as powerful, 10,000 times larger, and so expensive that only the 5 richest kings of Europe will own them.
Hold on! Compensating gravitational pull
What's this?
What is what? He asked you a question. What is that?
Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Not quite at the end yet. Almost there though. Just be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos. Alright, back to business. Number 1. Humans will go to Mars. Elon Musk's SpaceX company is hoping to send a cargo ship to Mars by 2024. At some point after, they're planning to send the first people there. They face competition, however, as the European Space Agency wants to send their own manned mission to the Red Planet come 2033. But things may reach peak crazy by 2050, as the Mars One project might have allowed colonists to emigrate to the distant planet by then. Throw in a space hotel that may be ready as early as 2020, and the final frontier seems geared to play a prominent role in our future.
I'm gonna have to science the shit out of this.
I wonder how many more times we'll have to save Matt Damon before 2050. Let us know in the comments what you're most excited for before 2050. Be sure to like and subscribe and watch this other video because life is short.